trying to stop raw sewage from seeping into your home. Not the best way to spend your bank holiday weekend. If you live at Castle Door in Freshbrook, that might be what you've been doing. Natalie Slater is a spokesperson for Thames Water. Good morning, Natalie.
Good morning.
10 gardens affected, people knee-deep in rancid water, using buckets, desperately trying to stop raw sewage flowing into their houses. 13 hours to get engineers out. This is nowhere near good enough, is it?
Something went wrong here, and for that we apologise. Basically, we're carrying out a thorough investigation to find out how and why this happened.
So you've no idea what went wrong?
We're still investigating the full circumstances as to why we took so long to get there.
People we spoke to said they kept ringing and you kept they felt as if you were fobbing them off.
We're still investigating all the circumstances surrounding this.
I follow you on Twitter. And on the 17th of August, you tweeted and you named a mobile phone company. And then you said, this mobile phone company really does have the worst customer service I've ever experienced. Is Thames Water any better?
Like I say, we do our best to make sure that we respond to people when they have problems.
Are you sorry you sent that tweet about the mobile phone company now?
This is something that happened with Thames Water.
But let's get back to the tweet that you sent about the mobile phone company, about their customer service. Are you sorry you sent it now?
I think we should focus on what happened with this case.
So you're not going to answer that one?
Like I said, I think we should focus on Thames Water here and the customer service that happened. And once again, we do apologise for the delay.
Natalie Slater from Thames Water.
BBC Wiltshire.
It's 8:11, and you are now part of a massive radio experiment. Can we bring back the sound of Swindon, the old railway works hooter? Any stereo you've got that you can tune into 103.6, open all the doors and all the windows, turn it up loud as it will go without distorting, so that the sound of the old railway works hooter makes it to every part of Swindon, and we bring it back louder and prouder than ever. A 20,000 watt sound system is at the outlet village where the old railway works were. Standing by there is BBC Wiltshire's Annie Weston.
It's been 25 years since it sounded, and I've got some retired railway workers with me now. Roger Hayes, of course, who we've spoken to before. Good morning, Roger.
Good morning.
How do you feel that this moment is nearly here?
I think we're very, very fortunate to get it blowing again.
We've had to stand back about 50 metres, all in all, and are we ready to hear the sound go? You ready, guys?
Yeah.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah!
What do you make of that?
Brilliant. Brilliant that was.
Took it back a bit.
Right, that bring it back.
Roger?
The ground was trembling. I've never known that before. But it seemed to me as if it was about equal to the sound when the real hooter blew.
Good. That's what we're looking for. Accuracy.
Annie Weston, thank you very much. So special as well. So now we're looking for your report. How far did it go? Did we get it to every part of Swindon? Was it as loud as the original? Derek in Coveringham, good morning.
Good morning.
Could you hear it?
I definitely could. And what's more, I didn't even have my hearing aids in.
It must have been loud, Derek.
It was pretty good, I'll tell you. It certainly brought back a lot of memories.
It did the trick.
Of course it did, yeah. In fact, the first thing I did was look at my watch to see if I was late.
Derek, thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you for doing it.
No worries at all, my pleasure. If you'd like to call in and give me a report of where you could hear the hooter this morning, give me a call. You know that number, 513366. The Labour leader Ed Miliband will make his keynote speech at the party's annual conference in Liverpool today. It's a year since he took over following Gordon Brown's resignation. Harriet Harman was the acting leader in between. She joins me from the conference now. Good morning, Harriet.
Good morning.
Who are you sitting next to this year during the keynote speech from the leader?
Well, I'm sure I'll be sitting with my colleagues in the Shadow Cabinet, and we're all very focused on the concerns that people have got.
Well, you had a bad seat last year, didn't you? You were sat right next to Ed's brother David, And when Ed criticised the Iraq war, his brother said to you, you voted for it, why are you clapping? You're going to be careful about what you clap about this year?
Well, I will definitely be supporting Ed Miliband for what he's saying. I think that it's difficult times for people and he's speaking up for their concerns. And I noticed that actually when it came to voting, people voting in the election in May earlier this year, actually there was a swing towards Labour and away from the Conservatives and away from the Lib Dems. So when it came to actually voting, I think people did, when they came into the ballot box, they did support Labour more than they'd supported us previously and more than they were supporting the Tories and the Lib Dems.
Well, you were campaigning then. You even came to Swindon in April, but it didn't help. We've still got a Conservative council and we've still got 2 Conservative MPs. Why is that?
Well, we did gain seats in the local elections, and we think we're making progress.
You described Gordon Brown as hopeless. Is Ed Miliband worse because he's not doing very well in the opinion polls?
I didn't. I think that with a really difficult global financial crisis, I think that the work that Gordon Brown did with other leaders around the world to stop the banks falling over, it could have been immeasurably worse. But I think that this government's mistake, is to say that we're out of the woods, we're out of the danger zone, and that we're a safe haven, and to think that they can just let things fend for themselves, and to really cut the economy and choke the life out of the economy. And I think that that's what's gone wrong. And I never said Gordon Brown was hopeless.
Not at the New Year's Eve party?
No.
OK, the Times reported that you did. Harriet Harman, live from the Labour Party conference. Thanks very much. You're not talking to me on a handheld mobile phone while you're driving, are you?
Oh, no, I've mended my ways. Never again.
All right. Well, you pleaded guilty anyway to driving without due care and attention.
I'm reformed, though. I'm a reformed motoring offender now.
I'm glad to hear it. Harriet Harman, thanks for your time this morning. 890 houses could be built next to Cote Water. Plans were lodged with the council on Christmas Eve. A 21-day consultation to the revised plans opened yesterday. The council will decide in the next few months. Joining me now is Councillor Peter Greenhalgh from Swindon Borough Council. Good morning, Councillor.
Good morning, Graham.
Are you in favour of the current development plans?
I think it's the best proposal that's been received so far, and I would point out that this isn't next to Cote Water, it's next to the hospital.
Is it within a kilometre of Cote Water?
It is between Cote Water and the hospital, yes, but it is closer to the hospital than it is to Cote Water.
In August 2009, when the original proposal was dismissed on appeal by the Secretary of State, you said, "This decision is great news. We were determined to fight this proposal as hard as we could, and I'm very pleased that the Minister has agreed with our position." Mm-hmm. You also said that it would be disastrous for Cote.
Yeah.
Do you still think that?
I think that the planning submission that I was referring to would have been disastrous for Cote. This development, however, is adjacent to the hospital, not to Cote Water.
So you can understand how people thought you were against any development on that piece of land, and now they're a bit confused.
I can understand that the way the media is reporting this is confusing.
Well, we're only reporting what you're saying. I mean, that's what you said. Since you made those comments, which to some people sounded like you were opposed to a housing development near Cote Water, the new homes bonus scheme's been announced by the government. Swindon Borough Council will get thousands of pounds every year for the next 6 years for every new home built. Has that had any influence on this?
None whatsoever.
52,000 people signed a petition to protect a kilometre of countryside around Cote Water. What have you got to say to those 52,000 people?
I think it's excellent that people take an interest in their local area, and I would fully support anyone who wishes to challenge any application that is submitted.
Do you think that the current proposal should go through?
I think the current proposal is the best proposal that has been submitted for the area around the hospital site, and it's up to the planning committee to determine whether or not this application should succeed.
So you think 890 homes should be built next to Cote Water?
That isn't what I said, Graham.
What are you saying? Get off the fence, Councillor. What are you saying? Is it good or bad?
I'm not sitting on the fence. I think this is the best proposal that has been submitted for this area.
OK, thank you very much for talking to me this morning.
Thank you.
Councillor Peter Greenhalgh, who's always interesting to talk to. Marianne from Abbey Meads, you were listening?
I sure was.
Did you hear the hooter?
I did. I went in my back garden. I've been waiting for this all week.
And do you remember the old hooter?
Oh, my dad used to work in the railways, yeah. So every time we heard the hooter, we thought, oh, my God, we better get the kettle on. He'll be home in a minute. Cup of tea had to be on the table, ready and waiting.
Oh, did it? They're the rules, eh?
Oh, God, yeah.
Okay, well, thanks for talking to me this morning, Marianne. I'm glad you heard it. Susan in Park South, good morning.
Hello.
You heard the hooter?
Yes, it brought back lovely memories.
What memories did it bring back for you?
Well, I used to get up for breakfast with my father, and we used to hear it at 25 past and 7:30. And I used to be sitting at the table looking at the Daily Express, Rupert Bear I used to read, and Dad was getting breakfast, and we used to sit there and he'd hear the hooter and he'd say, right, time I went off to work. Just listening to it this morning brought back lovely memories, because we lost Dad only a few years ago.
Well, that is a lovely memory of you and your dad before he went off to work.
Stood at the door with my son and heard it loud and clear.
Fantastic.
And that's near Shaftesbury Lakes.
Thank you very much. Well, that is quite a distance. Linda, did you hear it in Womburgh?
I did.
In Womburgh?
In Womburgh. And I went to school listening to that. And that brought back memories. Yes, I can't believe it.
Hey, well, thank you so much. I'm glad we've managed to do it. Now, if you'd like to call in this morning and tell me where you've heard the hooter, how far did it go? Can you beat Womburgh, or was it loud and proud somewhere else? Closer to Swindon, that'll do. And also the memories that it brings back. I made a rock and roll dream come true yesterday. So here I am on stage at the Mecca. It's an empty... The stage is vast. The room is massive. It's a proper rock and roll venue. I'm here with the Chief Executive of Swindon Borough Council, Gavin Jones. Good morning.
Good morning, Graham.
Now, you were very tense this morning.
A little tense. When you meet your icons as a youth, it's quite a moment, isn't it?
What's happened is Scott Gorham, the guitar player from Thin Lizzy, has agreed to be interviewed on BBC Wiltshire. And I said, wouldn't it be fun if Gavin got to jam with him? So how long have you been a fan of Scott's?
Since I was about 16, I was a Lizzy fan, as all my mates were growing up. And they were the band you wanted to see and wanted to be like. So as a kid, I aspired to be Scott Gorham.
Well, that's Gavin jamming away on his own, practising hard, ready for the moment when Scott Gorham from Thin Lizzy showed up. Hear what happened when Jonesy met Lizzy later this morning, and Thin Lizzy are playing at Swindon's Mecca. June the 2nd, tickets are on sale now. Jackie's in Liddington, did you hear it this morning?
Oh, we certainly did. We heard it about 3 seconds after we heard it on the radio, funnily enough.
So it's like thunder. You see the flash and then...
Oh, it was fantastic. Thank you so much for doing that. It was quite emotional.
And it is a big deal for you, isn't it, the hooter?
It is. I was born to the sound of the evening hooter, yeah.
Maybe this morning you'll be reborn. Amanda Broomhall from Pen Hill is in the middle of her 6th surrogate pregnancy. She's just had her 13-week scan. Amanda is here with me this morning. Good morning, Amanda.
Morning.
13-week scan. Now, that's the one that's checking for Downs.
Mm-hmm, that's right.
You've not heard anything? No news, good news?
No news, good news. They would ring me by last Friday if I was a high risk, so I'm a low risk.
If the scan has showed up definite for Downs, what would happen then?
I talked to the parents about it. The ultimate decision would be theirs.
And if their decision was to terminate, you would terminate the pregnancy?
Yes. At this point, I would, yes.
Half of that baby you're carrying is you.
Yeah, it is, yes. At this point, I would, without hesitation, follow through the wishes of the parents.
This is your 6th surrogate pregnancy. Have you ever terminated one?
Yes.
And why was that?
Because the parents changed their mind.
There was no medical problem?
No.
And how were you with that decision?
It was awful, but what could I do? They didn't want the child.
Why do you do this?
Because I can. I think that it's one thing I can do, so I'll do it.
Who chooses the parent?
I offer to help. They don't ask. That's not how it's done. They don't walk up and say, we want you to help us. I offer to help, and I always think that you should get to know somebody before you make that offer, because any relationship between a surrogate parent and the two intended parents should be based on friendship, because 9 months is a really long time to work with someone you don't like.
So you decide whether they're going to be good parents. It's down to you.
Yeah.
No one else.
No, if I don't gel with them or click with them, then I'm not the right person to help them.
Tell me about these people.
Okay.
Where'd they live?
East Anglia.
East Anglia. Professional people?
Both working, yeah. They haven't got high-paid jobs, but they're both in stable, long-term employment, yeah.
Do they own their own home?
Nope.
But they live in council accommodation?
Yep.
And you're cool with a kid being brought up into an environment where, who knows, if one of them lost their job, they might find it a little bit tough for a while? You have to make those, but you have to make those
they're normal
what I'm getting
people.
Is you have to make those moral decisions on their behalf.
And it's a lot for me to make the decision on. But those decisions you've just said could happen to anybody. They could be the richest people in the country, but if they lost all that money, they'd have the same problems as the rest of us do, you know. And I always say, just because they live in a council house doesn't mean they're bad people, and all the money in the world won't buy you the skills you need to be a good parent.
Thank you for letting us follow this.
That's all right.
Because I still don't know where I am with it.
Well, the reason I'm letting you follow me is because the parents want a record, and at the end, your researcher has agreed to put it on a CD to give to them, so they've got a record of their child being brought into the world. And that's very special, and you can't put a price on that.
Amanda Broomhall from Penhill, thanks for your time this morning. The man himself has just walked onto the stage. He's walked on many stages around the world. Scott Gorham, welcome to Swindon.
Yeah, the Mecca at Swindon itself. Cool, man.
With me is Gavin Jones. Now, Gavin is the Chief Executive of Swindon Borough Council. You've got to be good to him or he'll shut the show down.
Oh, no.
It won't happen on June the 2nd unless you look after Gavin. I can't see that
Gavin,
happening.
you're looked after.
It is Gavin's dream to jam with you.
I thought you might
You know
like
Lizzie's song?
Do I know a Lizzie song? Come on, I've grown up with you guys. You watch.
Gavin was so excited. Honestly, he was like a little kid. Now, that jam session is coming up later on this morning on Swindon's BBC Wiltshire, and Thin Lizzy are playing at the Mecca on Thursday, the 2nd of June.
The Graham Mack Breakfast Show
on Swindon's BBC Wiltshire.
A team from Cricklade tried to climb the highest mountains in England, Scotland and Wales. They were doing it in memory of their friend, 26-year-old Wayne Wilson, who died from leukemia in January. The group was led by friend of the show, Damien Davis. Good morning, Damien.
Morning, Graham.
I've heard it didn't go to plan.
Well, we started from the foot of Ben Nevis.
And we spoke to you last week, just before you were off to Scotland to climb Ben Nevis. You were going to do Ben Nevis, Snowdon and Scafell Pike.
That's right.
Yeah.
And we'd taken a crucial wrong turn at a fork in the path. And it wasn't until we got very close to the top that we realised the error of our ways.
You climbed the wrong mountain.
Ben Nevis has a lovely little monument at the top that says, "Welcome to Ben Nevis, this is the highest mountain in the UK."
Yes.
When we got to the top of our one, which was a lot steeper than we'd imagined it to be, we suddenly realised this was not in fact Ben Nevis.
OK, so you got your 3 peaks challenge. First peak, you've muffed it. What happens now? Do you give up?
No, we thought we'd persevere. We said, right, let's crack on. We'll go and do Scafell Pike and see if we can get that and Snowdon in still within 24 hours.
Yeah.
And we made our way down to the Lake District. We got there 2 hours after our initial planned start time.
Not bad, though.
No, not bad. But then I slipped and twisted my ankle. So
Don't mean to laugh, Damien, I'm sorry.
No, it was quite painful at the time.
I bet it was, yeah.
I had to make an emotional decision there and then to turn back because I didn't want to hinder the team.
Right, OK. Very
chances
noble, like that bloke with Scott. Yeah, OK.
Yeah. But then 2 of the other lads made it back shortly after me, also with injuries.
So how many did that leave to climb Scafell Pike?
2.
2, OK.
The youngest 2, Mike Murray,
yes,
who had done it before with Kevin and myself in training,
yes,
and Carl, as you know, Wayne's brother.
Yes.
So waiting back at the minibus is myself, Kev and James from the climbing team,
Uh-huh.
Carl's mum and dad,
right,
and Kevin the driver.
Yeah.
And we thought, right, at the pace they were going, they've got to be back by 10 p.m, just as darkness was falling.
And you've still got Snowdon to climb, yeah?
Yeah, but by midnight there was no sign of them and we were quite worried, so we rang Mountain Rescue. They did a full risk assessment and they advised that the guys would probably have gone to ground. They'd had no distress signals sent, and because obviously we had all the right survival kit, they'd made the risk assessment that the guys would be fine. So in the morning, me and Carl's dad, Den, we basically climbed Scaffold Pike at first light, 4:30 in the morning.
Now, you would have been quite worried at this stage for them.
We were extremely worried.
Yeah. So this would have been, all the laughing has stopped now, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Now serious.
So Carl's dad and myself climbed Scaffold Pike first thing in the morning at first light. We went right to the top and bottom, no sign of them. We rang emergency services again, and sure enough, they reported themselves missing at a pub in a remote village the other side of the Lake District.
Well, how did they get there?
They'd gone up the mountain, obviously darkness had fallen, they'd seen where some lights were, assumed it was where we were, and by the time they got back down the bottom, they realised they were the other side of the mountain. It took us an hour and a half to drive round the Lake District to go and pick them up.
Okay, so the Three Peaks Challenge, you've blown it with Ben Nevis, you've climbed the wrong mountain.
Yeah.
Your team has made Scaffold Pike, 2 of them.
Yeah.
Well, that's a success.
Yeah.
It's a drama, but a success. Okay, what about Snowdon?
Well, we were already 6 hours behind the total finish time by the time we left the Lake District. So we abandoned the mission and went back to our auction and raffle.
In Cricklade?
Yeah, in Cricklade. And we told our story to the amusement of all the locals. But we raised nearly £10,000.
You raised nearly 10,000, and everyone who sponsored you is still going to pay up, are they?
Well, we had a couple of people who jokingly said they wanted a refund, or at least a third of it. But I think most people have stood by their original pledge.
Yeah, and that's great. And that's all for leukemia research.
All for leukemia research, yeah.
So, what do you think Wayne would have thought of it all?
I think he would be beside himself, rolling around laughing.
He wouldn't have wanted a better reason. He wouldn't have wanted you to do it. He would have wanted all this kind of stuff. He would have wanted a story. You're going to get more publicity now because of this than if you'd actually done it.
Everyone loves a failure.
Yeah, this is going to be a bigger deal. You may even make more money because of this than if you'd done it properly.
We may well do.
All right. Hey, well, thanks for letting us follow your progress.
Thank you to you and all your colleagues at BBC.
We've just
us all the way through this.
We've just been enjoying the story, David. Now, have you got any more challenges, or is this it now?
Well, we've got some more up our sleeve, although
Okay.
I think a few people would like to see us actually do the Three Peaks before they sponsor us on
Don't,
anything
please,
adventurous.
David, for me, don't do the Three Peaks. It's not to be.
All right, Graham, for you, we'll do something different.
Do something, pick something easier. Pick three, I don't know, foothills in Wiltshire or something.
We did say the next 3 we'd attempt would be Common Hill, London Hill, and Bloomin' Hill.
Damien Davis from Team Wayne, thanks. Great to catch up with you again,
Graham.
mate. And well done raising all that money. Chrissy from Marsden Maisie, could you hear it?
Very faintly, but I could definitely hear it.
So how far away do you think you were from, say, the outlet centre?
From the top of Blunsdon, we're about 8.
Yes.
So it must be to the centre, I would think about 10.
About 10 miles?
Yeah.
Now, they were saying it used to travel 12. This is pretty close.
Yes.
It's not just the 20,000 watts. It's everybody who had their radios and their own little public address systems all turned up loud.
Well, I went out into the garden to listen.
Fantastic.
I mean, I've been listening to you all the way through, thinking, come on, get it going, get it going.
Well, I've just had confirmation, 11.5 miles. So that's really
wonderful.
close to the 12 that historian Scylla Slipper said it used to carry. So I'm pretty sure it would have carried for about another half a mile after that. Gavin Jones is the boss of Swindon Borough Council. Now, Gavin's guitar hero is Scott Gorham from Thin Lizzy. Yesterday, at the Mecca, they got to jam together.
Are we on?
Oh, yeah, jailbreak.
Want to do jailbreak?
Okay.
You want to start with the big chord?
Yeah.
The big E chord?
Oh, that's okay.
Sure. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4.
phase.
You blanked on the spot.
I always do that bit. When we played a song, I thought, I can't play it with him in the room, can I?
Gavin Jones, you just jammed with Scott Gorham. How'd it feel?
Well, he's better than me. That's what really...
Well, it was a real pleasure. Thank you very much.
Scott Gorham, thank you very much. It's a pleasure.
Hey,
Cheers.
it's good to meet you. Thank you.
Thanks, Scott.
Good
Thank
play.
you so much. Yeah, great stuff. I can't believe I dropped the note.
Oh, that's
I've been playing that for
I
like
drop
30
them
years.
every night.
Oh, dear.
The Graham Mack Breakfast Show, Swindon's BBC Wiltshire.
And now a story of what can be done when you're truly inspired. This time last year, Wayne Wilson from Cricklade had just married his fiancée, Sammy Cole. But Wayne knew that he was dying of leukemia. Wayne lost his battle on the 3rd of January. He was 26. Well, since then, thousands of pounds have been raised for charity in his name. Wayne's friends and family set up a charity called Team Wayne. Our reporter, Ashley Heath, is in Cricklade this morning with some of the team. Good morning, Ashley.
Good morning, Graham. Yes, I do have Damien Davis, Kay Wright, who's Wayne's mum, and Ali Clark, who is Damien's mum. Damien, let's go back to basics. Just sum up this year. It's been a heck of a year, hasn't it?
It certainly has. Wayne sadly lost his life in January, and his brother Carl, myself, and some other friends, we set up Team Wayne, and we initially had aspirations to climb Kilimanjaro. Now, with what subsequently happened, perhaps it's a good idea that we didn't set our ambitions that high.
But nevertheless, that kind of experience really heightened the national profile.
Yes, what they haven't heard, though, is, I mean, obviously it was widely reported about us climbing the wrong hill. We mistook Stod Ban for Ben Nevis. And what was sort of put under the radar a bit was the fact that, you know, Kay's son Carl, who was part of the team, and Mike, two of the members actually went missing for 14 hours on Scafell Pike, while Kay and then, you know, Carl's parents were at the bottom, absolutely worried sick. They'd already lost Wayne to leukemia, were worried they'd lost Carl to another mishap, and, you know, that was quite traumatic at the time. As you know, it turned out quite funny.
Because they were found
in a pub, the other side of the Lake District. But at the time, it was really quite worrying for Kay.
Well, Kay, let's bring you in now. Wayne's mum. Obviously, it's been a difficult year for you. You've been showing your mix of emotions as you've been listening to Damien there, because of watching you. You're getting a bit teary, but you were smiling at the same time. How do you sum up this year?
I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy, to be perfectly honest.
What is it like for you to know that Wayne was so loved that everybody pulled together in the way they have and are still doing that because money is still being raised?
Well, what helps me is when people say Team Wayne, they remember about Wayne.
So sorry, I think we just heard the door knock there. Do you want to put your headphones on?
Someone better answer the door.
Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Kay, can you still hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
What we've got there is the choir from the local church, St Sampson's. And one of them should have a card for you.
I've got one in my hand.
A red card with your name on it.
Yeah.
Can you open it up for me, please? What does it say inside the card?
You've been granted a Christmas wish by BBC Wiltshire.
Well, we do this thing called Christmas Wish. Damien has said it would be nice because you've worked so hard with Team Wayne after the year you've had. Damien just says you've been the best, and he just asked me, this is his Christmas wish, he asked me what we could do to do something nice for you. So what's going to happen today is you are going to have the best day, Kay. We have set up for you at 10 o'clock to be driven to the Four Pillars Hotel in the Mayor of Swindon's car, the mayoral limousine. You've got use of the spa facilities, which includes the hydrotherapy pool, the sauna, the steam room, the experience showers. You'll have access to the exclusive members lounge throughout the day, free tea and coffee as much as you can drink. We're sorting you out with the bathrobe, the slippers, the towels for the day. At lunchtime, you're having their special spa lunch, which is open sandwiches, a Caesar salad, soup of the day, the cheese platter, the fruit platter, the dessert of the day. That's to get you all set up for the Rasul ritual treatment, and this ancient Arabic treatment has been used for centuries to purify and soften the skin. It's a deep cleansing mud that will go into your skin. You'll relax while all your worries waft away and steam allows the minerals to be absorbed. Then you'll have a refreshing tropical rain shower. That'll complete the treatment. Leave your whole body glowing with health, and at the end of the day, Kay, you're going to feel like the bee's knees.
Oh, thank you very much.
No worries.
I wish I'd known this. My husband's just gone shopping.
Well, give him a call and tell him you need a new cosy. All right, is Ali there as well still? Ali's your friend and Damien's mum. Ali, you've been an accomplice on this. How hard has it been keeping this a secret?
Pretty hard.
Well, we've been keeping a secret as well. You're going as well. You're having the day as well as Kay, because we can't send Kay on her own. She's got, for something like this, she's got to have something special with a friend.
Oh, wow.
So this Christmas wish, it's a big thank you from Damien and everyone involved in Team Wayne, and of course Swindon's BBC Wiltshire. Ashley, what's it like there now?
Oh, I tell you, Graham, the emotion is really highly charged. The choir of St Sampson's Church help us wish Kay, Ali, Damien and all the BBC Wiltshire listeners a very happy Christmas.
Ding dong merrily on high, in and the bells are ringing. Ding dong merrily the sky